guys, today we're going to be making a super delicious no-bake Lotus Biscoff Cheesecake. I'm Eloise, but you probably know me better as Fit Waffle. This recipe is super easy. You only need 6 ingredients. There's no eggs, there's no flour involved. It's one of my personal favorites, and I know it's one of your guys' favorites. So I really hope you enjoy the video, and let's get baking. For the base, you need Lotus Biscoff biscuits and melted butter. I'm using unsalted, but if you want to use salted for a little extra saltiness, then you can. I'm going to start by crushing these in the food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you can always use a bag and rolling pin. It works just as well, just takes a little longer. So I'm going to break these up and pop them in here. Because I have a mini food processor, not all of my biscuits actually fit, but we're going to do it in 2 batches. So I'm going to pulse these to a really fine crumb. I'm going to pour my first batch into my bowl, because then I need to blitz the rest. So all the biscuits are in. Now we're going to add our melted butter. If you have a bigger food processor than I do, you can actually add the melted butter to your food processor and blitz it like that. That's going to mix it up nicely. But because mine isn't big enough, we're doing it this way. So pour in the melted butter. As you can see, I've already made such a mess. We're just going to stir these until they're fully combined, and it should resemble almost a wet sand. So now that's all combined, I'm going to put it in my 8-inch springform cake tin. I've actually flipped it over, so the lip here is upside down. And then I'm going to line it, which I've just put in butter, that's fine. I'm gonna line it with a piece of parchment paper. I actually got these from Lakeland, like 8-inch ones. They're really handy when you're making a lot of cakes and cheesy cakes and cheesecakes. You want to make sure that you press down really firmly so it's nice and compact, all the way to the edges. Perfect, so now I'm going to set it aside in the fridge while we make the filling. Next, we're going to be whisking our double cream, or heavy cream if you're not from the UK, to about stiff peaks. If it doesn't quite get to stiff peaks, it doesn't matter, but we just need it to be really thick and hold its own, you know. So we want to make sure that our cream is really nice and cold, because that's going to really help it whip nice and quickly. If it's too warm, it's not going to whip. You can also refrigerate your bowl and your beaters to make it even quicker. Okay, they look like pretty stiff peaks to me. Now we need cream cheese, Lotus Biscoff spread, and icing sugar. I really recommend using a brand like Philadelphia or the Lidl Goldessa, I think it's called. It's also really good. You basically just need it to be really thick and creamy and not watery. Some brands I've used have been really watery and they just don't hold up a no-bake cheesecake very well. We're not using gelatin in this, so all our ingredients need to be thick. Also, drain away any excess liquid if there is. What am I doing? Next, I'm gonna add the icing sugar, followed by almost a whole jar of Lotus Biscoff spread. So it's really important that your cream cheese is at room temperature here. This is gonna help it mix really nicely and be really smooth and not lumpy. So now that's fully combined, we're gonna add in our whipped cream from earlier. It's important not to overmix here, as we don't want the cheesecake to go runny. We want to keep it nice and thick and creamy. Now this is ready, I'm just gonna grab our base out of the fridge. So now I'm gonna scoop our delicious cheesecake mix onto our base. I'm going to start with a little bit. So as you can see, I'm basically just pushing this right out to the sides to minimize any gaps, any air bubbles, anything like that. And it's going to give us a really nice smooth edge. I'm surprised I haven't dropped something down my dress already. I don't usually wear a dress to cook in, but you know, first YouTube video in a while. I wanted to dress up and look nice for you guys. It's like a special occasion. So we're just gonna smooth this out. Now it doesn't need to be perfect, because we're gonna pour Lotus Biscoff spread all over this afterwards, and that is gonna hide any sort of flaw. So if you don't want to pour Lotus Biscoff spread over this, which I highly recommend you do, but if you do want to leave it like this, then you can always use a scraper to make it really nice and smooth on the top. But that'll do for now. Let's just take off that bit. That'll do. This is gonna go in the fridge now for at least 6 hours, but if you can, refrigerate it overnight, because we need it to be really nice and firm before pouring the spread over. Let's go. Oh, you look so good.
Many unbearable hours later.
Okay, so to loosen this, I'm basically gonna run a knife around the inside of the cake tin, so the outside of the cheesecake. This is gonna give you a really nice smooth edge. So nice and gently, pushing right against that edge, trying to make it as smooth as possible. Okay, let's see how nicely I did this. It's proper stuck. Oh, okay, here we go, rough. I'm definitely catching this all the way around. Okay, that was not perfect. This is a new cake tin and it was getting stuck. We've got extra cheesecake here in case you actually need to fill any holes. Like, I'm not even joking. Just scrape it off and like scrape it across the sides. It always works. So we have our cheesecake on our serving plate. Now we're gonna move on to the topping. I'm going to melt Lotus Biscoff spread in the microwave, 30-second burst on a medium setting, so something around 400 to 500 watts. I'm also going to sprinkle some Biscoff crumb around the edge. Now, the easiest way to do this, which I totally forgot to say earlier, was once you've blitzed your biscuits in your food processor, just take out a couple of tablespoons. So I'm gonna pour this over the cheesecake and then smooth it out, and I want it really glossy, and I'm gonna aim for a little drip around the edge as well. Perfect. Once it's no longer dripping down the edge, we're gonna sprinkle on our biscuits. Okay, it's looking good. And to finish it off, I'm gonna place a Lotus Biscoff biscuit in the center. It absolutely makes it more difficult to cut, so totally optional, but now we're gonna put it back in the fridge just to really firm it up again before cutting it. So it's been about an hour in the fridge. Now I'm gonna slice it up so we can try it. Make sure you clean your knife after every slice. Oh, so smooth. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Oh, it's kind of stuck. Stuck to the bottom. It looks so good. So now the bit that I've been waiting for, let's try it. That is so good. It's so creamy. The Biscoff spread on top, for me, is a must. It just really gives it that like strong Biscoff flavor. The base is buttery. It's just amazing. I highly recommend. So that is the end of today's video. If you are new here, don't forget to like if you liked the video, subscribe to my channel for more recipe videos. Let me know what your favorite cheesecake flavor is and what cheesecake you want to make next, or want me to make next, or what you want to make next. Any questions, drop them in the comments below and I'll do my very best to get back to you. Thanks guys, bye.